The, the history of English language can be divided into three periods: the Old English before 1066, the Middle English 1066 to 1485, and the Modern English 1485 to present. Before 1066, the period can be divided into Stone Age, Roman Empire, Anglo-Saxons, and Norman conquest. Stone Age was year 6000 of BC. The first farmers arrived in Britain, and the Roman Empire is 55 BC. Julius Caesar successfully invades the Britain, and 43 AD, Emperor Claudius successfully invades the Britain. 3rd to 4th centuries, Christian communities appears in the Britain, and 410 the Roman army leaves the Britain. Then came the Anglo-Saxon around 600, and Anglo-Saxon kingdom was established in Britain, and 789 the Vikings first visited the Britain. Norman conquest, the monarch is William I, and 1066 William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, became the king. William I of the England, and defeated Harold's and the Saxon king of England in the Battle of Hastings. Westminster Abbey first used as the coronation for the church. Then came the Middle Ages, which covered the time of the Norman conquest until the Wars of the Roses. And in 13th century, there were two monarchs. First is John and Edward I. John was monarch in 1215, and Magna Carta was introduced during the King John's rule. Edward I in 1284, Edward I of the England introduced the Statute of the Roudan, annexing the Wales to the Crown of England. In 14th century, 1314, the Scottish, led by Robert the Bruce, defeated the England. At the Battle of Bannockburn. In 15th century, by 1400, the England's official documents were written in English, and the English became the preferred language of the royal courts and the parliament. Henry V in 1415, the Battle of Agincourt, the most famous battle of the Hundred Years' Wars, sees Henry V's vastly outnumbered army beat the French. In 15th century, the last Welsh rebellion was defeated. English law and language was introduced into Wales. 1450, the English leave France. 1455, the War of the Roses started between the House of Lancaster and the York over who should be the King of England. In 1485, the Wars of the Roses ends, and the Battle of Bosworth fled. King Richard III of the House of York was killed, and Henry Tudor of the House of Lancaster became Henry V. The language in transition, the Middle Ages, around the year 1000, the Old English pronunciation changed when the distinct vowel sounds at the end of the words were being dropped, and the Middle English differed from Old English in the greater reliance upon the fewer plural forms. The language in transition in the Middle Ages stressed order, syntax, incorporated function, verbs, and words. French invaded England in October 1066. The leading the Normandy was the Duke of William, or William the Conqueror, who defeated and killed the last Anglo-Saxon king, and this was the beginning of Norman conquest. So Norman conquest radically changed history, character, and total English language. And William the Conqueror is known for accomplishments including creating the Domesday Book, which was an inventory of every piece of property in England, and bringing the French language to England, creating the bilingual society. Upper classes spoke French and the lower classes spoke English, and the social system is known as feudalism. Feudalism and the knighthood. The feudalism religion concepts hierarchy is god, king, baron, vassal, knights, and serfs. Two major impacts on the England as a result of the feudal system: forms and manners. Forms, better known as the knighthood. The institution of the knighthood was firmly based on the ideas of loyalty. The code of chivalry, the code of love, a system of ideas and behaviors, and the code that are governed by both knights and the gentlewoman. Three aspects that make the code of chivalry include the loyalty to the Lord, welfare rule, and court love. Court love provided the built-in drama for the poet and storytellers, and it brought about the forms of literature known as romance. Sir Gawain and Green Knight, composed around 1370, and basic narrative patterns of romance, hero, the quest, and supernatural event. In Sir Gawain, you see the pull of sexual temptation and the life of medieval castle. In Gawain's model, there is courage, fidelity, and morality. So they teach us a moral lesson. The theme is to achieve the nobility of human beings and must rely on the constant practice of courage, honesty, and self-sacrifice. There is a mythical past of King Arthur's court, and in Camelot there's a wilderness. In Bertilac's castle, the Green Chapel, motif, the seasons and games. Thank you.